Any joke about The Rock is definitely worth hearing. Welcome to the Outcast Creative Gut Reaction Review. This is where I review a movie, song, whatever it may be, clubbing event even, right after I've seen it, right after I've been there. I try and do these straight away. And I literally finished watching The Wrecking Crew about 10 minutes ago. So I really, I really am fresh off the pot on this one. Now, the other thing is as well is that I hadn't actually seen that trailer. I knew nothing about the film other than Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa was in it. I've met Jason Momoa, by the way, not once but twice on the same day when I was at the June premiere. Got to chat to him very, very briefly. Kindly asked him for a photograph for my ex-wife, and he very kindly agreed, and then also agreed a second time when the first photograph I realized was out of focus. So that was very kind of him. Really sweet man. I wish I'd actually just had a chat with him about something normal, but there wasn't much time, and you know, he was at the June premiere. Anyway, Wrecking Crew, I was very into sort of action buddy cop movies, and then we had a kind of a slew of them in the late 80s that were pretty bad. I was not a big fan of Tango and Cash. That was Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. I thought the script for that film was pretty poor. But I am, however, a massive fan of a couple of other cop buddy films. And in fact, we did a stream. It's on the channel somewhere about the best two. I think it's an episode of Chew the Fat where we talk about the best two sort of buddy movies of all time. Now, The Wrecking Crew, I'm going to say off the bat, is a good film. I was quite surprised. I really like this. There's a lot of reasons why. First of all, the pairing of Bautista and Momoa really, really works in this film. They are really fun together, and they seem like they got on. You can kind of tell. Of course, they worked together on June, so I don't know that they had that many scenes together, if any. But they certainly would have met, and I think that really helps the movie. It's got a pretty decent script. It's a kind of, you know, father's been killed. They've got to find out who killed him and why, and there's a deeper story and there's corruption and things. What makes the film slightly refreshing is the fact that it's set entirely on Hawaii, pretty much, apart from a couple of other scenes. And the film was shot in Hawaii and also New Zealand. So this is a movie that gets out of the usual locations and makes the best of them. Some really nice photography in this. I'm going to look at the crew in a minute and also recommend a couple of the other casts that I thought were very good. But yeah, the pairing of these two is great. The action scenes are very creative. They're borderline unrealistic, but we kind of expect that now. But they're interesting, which is good. I mean, they made them interesting. The car chases, there's two of them, both extremely over the top, but they were fun. They were fun to watch. And to come up with original sort of action sequences these days is actually quite difficult. And I suspect that the second unit director is probably the guy responsible for that, or it might be the fight choreographer. The fight choreography in the film is really good. It's top quality. I enjoyed the fight sequences. I mean, I do get bored of fight sequences very quickly. You know, the more extravagant they make them, the more bored I get. The faster I get bored, I should say. But the ones in this film were pretty good. I enjoyed them. And like I said, there's a lot of really good shots, really good photography, some fun stunts. And the Hawaiian cast, most of whom I'm not familiar with, are really great in this film. All the ladies are very good. In fact, they hold their own against MAMOA and BATISTA quite easily in all the acting scenes. Some really nice production design. This is kind of like the villain's lair, very James Bond-esque. In fact, there are some James Bond-esque moments in this film. But look, if you want a fun action comedy, just something to crack open some beers or have a glass of wine, in my case, and just chill, this is a great action film. Is it on par with Die Hard? No. It's not far off. It's as good as any of the Beverly Hills Cop sequels, and it's not far off the first one. I would definitely put this on par with Running Scared, which is one of my favourite buddy films of all time. Again, because the actors in that, Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal, have got such great chemistry together. It's kind of a similar vibe to this. Yeah, I mean, sort of farcical action can get a bit annoying sometimes, because you kind of tune out because it just becomes so improbable. And they were borderline with that a couple of times, but it was also quite inventive and it was quite well done. So I was prepared to give it a pass on this one, because I'm quite particular about my action. I really did enjoy the film. It was enough to sort of actually make me stop working. I had it on in the background at first, and I was like, no, I've actually got to watch this properly. So I had to put the work on pause and watch it. Dave Momoa gets tasered a few times in the movie. The trailer, which I showed at the beginning of the film, does give quite a lot away. I'll probably get that copyrighted, which means I'll probably have to edit it out later, but just so I show it at the beginning. But I went into this film having not seen that trailer before. I knew absolutely nothing about the movie other than it was an action buddy film, buddy flick, and a couple of people had said, hey, you know, have you seen it? It's actually not bad. If I'd seen this at the cinema, I wouldn't have been disappointed. I probably, you know, would have said, okay, yeah, that was a, you know, fun, forgettable evening. I'm a big fan of Monica Berenica. I think that's how you pronounce her surname. And she's pretty good in this. She's not given much to do. It's Batista's and Momoa's film, really. And great to see the actor from Once Were Warriors, who of course is, as we know, is Boba Fett in the movie. All right, okay, let's give some people some shout outs here. So that it's directed by Angel Manuel Soto, written by Jonathan Tropper. I have to say they both did a good job. Now, notice there's only one writer on this movie. One writer. Well, you know, that was good. Tamara Morrison. Sorry, forgot the name there briefly. I'm not familiar with quite a few of the other cast. I want to give some of them a shout out. Ramita Fox was really good. Frankie Adams was excellent, actually. I have seen her in at least one other production, and I'm trying to think what, and it's definitely not. I may have heard her voice in Call of Duty, but The Expanse, of course. Yeah, she's in The Expanse. Of course she is. The Panthers, what's that? Have I seen that? Let's have a quick look. Inspired by the Black Panthers, a group of young radicals from New Zealand. Oh, like the Polynesian version. Okay, interesting. I'd quite like to see that. We'll track that down. Yeah, so I've seen her in The Expanse. I've seen her in Valerian, The City of a Thousand Planets. I quite enjoyed that film, actually. It was absolutely batshit bonkers, but I quite enjoyed that movie. It's all right. So Frankie Adams is excellent, really good actress. Got a couple of child actors who do a very good job. Mia Keola, very cute in the film. You know, made me all broody, of course. I think for me, the weakest actor was probably the villain. was it? No, sorry, not this guy. This guy was good. I like this guy. This guy was great. Not Mark, but so this guy, Cleus Bang, who played Marcus. He's a Danish actor. I have seen him in some other things. He's not a weak actor. He's a good actor. But I just thought he was saddled with a very cartoonish villain. And I mean, maybe that was his choice to play him like that. I just thought the villain was a bit weak. So if I have any criticism of the movie, it's really that character. I wasn't really convinced by that character. He is just a very, very kind of comical bad guy. There's no realism there. I just didn't think there was any nuance there, to be honest. There's a really good movie called Bestseller with James Woods and Brian Dennehy, which is another kind of buddy movie in a way. It's much darker than this. And the villain in that piece is our man in Scarface, who is the owner of the drug plantation in South America. And the actor's name escapes me, sadly. He sadly died quite young. Movie that are quite sort of moving. There's a couple of scenes that are quite moving. Some of the stuff about the father is quite moving. This fight that's on the screen now is actually very funny. And that's the first fight sequence. I think I might show that clip at my movie quiz later this year, or at Christmas time rather. So, but yeah, okay. DC, you didn't fancy it, no? DC Green hates movies. Well, I mean, with a name like that, you're probably not going to like it, are you? Yeah, man. No, listen, it was an easy watch. It was an easy veg. I didn't have to think about it. Action film. I wasn't looking for or expecting any more than that. To be honest, I thought it was going to be pretty crap. But I actually thought this is quite a well-directed movie, good chemistry between the leads. And on that basis, I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it largely depends if you like the two actors. If you don't like the two actors and you don't buy into their chemistry, you're really not going to like the movie. I'll make a comparison with this Running Scared, which is a fantastic buddy cop comedy, action comedy, with Jimmy Smits as the villain. And two undercover cops trying to bust a drug lord. It's a very tonally, it's a very, very similar film. I really like Running Scared. If you haven't seen it, from 1985, or I think it was released in the UK in 1986, I highly rate this movie. If you wanted to do a pairing of two sort of fun action cop movies, these would be two films you could put together. Darlene Flugel, who plays the love interest in this and also the love interest in Battle Beyond the Stars, she sadly passed away. I think it was last year, which was really real shame. Yeah, DC, do you have a YouTube channel, buddy? Let me know. Let me know if you got a YouTube channel. Yeah, so listen, I enjoyed the movie. This is not a bitch. I thought the movie was good. I want to just go and have a look at. Well, DC, let me know if you want to come on, man. I'll send you the link if you want to jump on for a little bit and tell me why you didn't like it, because I kind of have an open door policy here. So that's also the way I connect with other channels. Yeah, so let me go back to the credits because I want to look at some other aspects of the production. I want to see who did the casting. I want to see who did the fight choreography. I want to see who was the stunt coordinator, because they all did a great job. So let's have a look. I'm going to have a look at some of the other reviews. So let me get down to the crew list. So yeah, I mean, you can see you got about 20 producers on there, but with a co-production with Hawaii and New Zealand, that's not unusual. Mark Flannery, who was the director of photography, did a fantastic job. Let's see what else he's done. He did The Raid and The Raid 2, Gangs of London, a couple of episodes, Havoc. That's the thing with Tom Hardy. I didn't think much of that film. It was interestingly shot, but I didn't think much of that film. Yeah, The Apostle. He's done some, I mean, you know, The Raid and The Raid 2. I mean, that's a great DOP right there. So he did a good job on this. So, you know, you've got some quality people in key positions. The editing was really good by Michael McCusker. Let's have a look and see what Michael's done. Le Mans 66, Logan. Oh, he was the editor on Indiana Jones. Well, started off as an assistant on Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. God, man. Damn, that was a while back. Dude, I'm going to put the link in the chat real quick. So make sure you copy and paste it, because I'm going to delete it real quick too. There you go. And it's gone. So let's I'll invite DC on. I always like to hear people's opposing views. Let me see what else Michael McCusker has done in the editing department. Let me get the screen back up. So yeah, editor, 23 credits. I'll see you, buddy. Just give me a sec. Yeah, so he also worked on The Greatest Showman. That had a fantastic edit. 13 Hours, also very good. 310 to Yuma, also very good. So some pretty top of the line people working on this. DC Green, welcome to the Outcast Creative channel.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
Man, no problem, man. I bring in people like that all the time. If it's if it's a spontaneous thing.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
You know, I always ask people if they got, and that's also how I connect to other channels. I don't care how many subs you got. I don't care if you got 10 subs or 10,000 or 10 million. I just don't care. So
well, I've got an opinion, and that's probably all.
No, I mean, I'm so listen. Just off the bat, in case you don't know about my channel, I work in film production. I'm a film director. So
yeah, I've caught you on Drinker's stream before. You're one of his mods, right?
I was his first moderator, but I also knew him before that. Because I wrote to him from the film industry saying, "Hey, man, you're saying quite a lot of things I'm not allowed to say," and that's how we became friends. And I just happened to be in the chat when he did his first live stream, and somebody said he needs a moderator, and I didn't even know what a moderator was. I just said, "Hey, I'll do it," and that's how I became his first mod. So, but my YouTube channel mainly interviews people in the industry. That's mainly what I do. So there's
I caught your stream where you were interviewing Mahler after he dropped his 17-hour Star Wars Outlaws video.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of his, so I jumped into the stream to check out what you guys were talking about. And I remember you were pushing towards 6,000 subs. I think I didn't check just now.
He got me over. He got me over 6K, which was very
awesome. Congrats.
And I'm close to 6.5. I think I'm about 6,003. Or do you know what? I don't check it very often, but it's getting there. But I do this because I enjoy it and I like talking about films.
Same.
I guess where I'm coming from, right, is I've seen a lot of straight to, you know, I've seen a lot of Amazon produced and Netflix produced feature films lately, and they've all been pretty average. They've all been pretty sort of, you know what I mean? And
yeah, I would say that I found this one to be below, and so I kind of just I went into it with like really low. You know, you're just like awake at like
that's what I was
11:37. Yeah, I'm like awake at like 11:37 at night, and I'm like, oh, there's that dumb Jason MAMOA thing, and Dave. And I'm like, I know it's gonna be bad, but like, let's check it out. And so I put it on I watched up till the scene where he chased the guy that was raiding his dad's apartment, and he like broke his nose, and and he's like, "You're gonna work for me now." And I was just like, "Okay, I think I've seen enough." And I don't.
With the chunky guy.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the guy from Spider-Man. I didn't like bother to. I know Amazon puts all that stuff on the screen, and I just like didn't bother to look it up. But I thought that was like the Spider-Man like guy in the chair.
I mean, I'm so bored of superhero films. I think the last one that I saw was the first Black Panther movie, and I think I've seen a couple of others after that. But yeah, I just kind of
that's a bad one to go out on.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I saw it with my then wife, and we both quite enjoyed it. But you know, I can't do Marvel stuff anymore.
Yeah, there has been a lot of like great stuff without a couple like massive caveats and stuff like that. Like I think Infinity War came out after Black Panther, and I would say that one's like the most solid on its own, but it also is couched in the fact that it's only good because it's a sequel to 19 other movies or however many other movies in the run up. So you kind of have to like respect the fact that like if you didn't see any of those movies prior to it, it probably won't hit as hard as if you were just like watching it on its own. But I think the fact that it's like couched in all those, like that's what really makes it spectacular. It's kind of the culmination of like the entire MCU, and so it has like an X factor going for it. But everything after that has been is like kind of hard to give it a shake without, or it's kind of hard to give it praise without like some pretty big concessions. I would say the only thing really good since then has been like the third Spider-Man movie that brings in all the other Spider-Mans, but even that one has, you know, it deals with like multiverse stuff, which is like impossible for anyone to write nowadays. So like you have to be very you know, generous to giving them kind of the setup to get like all the universes connected and stuff. But then like once the Spider-Man's like come into the movie, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, we're going down a bit of a rabbit hole here, but that's way too much extra homework for me to have to do to enjoy life.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean? Yeah, for sure.
I mean, for me, right, a litmus test if a movie is above average is, okay, I haven't seen this. It's got Jason Momoa, who actually is an actor I really enjoy. Dave Bautista has kind of done a lot of things that are very samey. So the jury for me on him is still a bit out, right? But
yeah, he's really only done Khal Drogo is like his most notable performance, and like I would say is like quite exceptional. But since then, and like, you know, it's like I think we all want him to be good, right? Because like his role as Drogo is like so great. And, you know, he's like, really athletic and buff looking and stuff. He's got like a cool look and kind of cool personality.
You're talking about Jason Momoa, or are you talking about Dave Bautista?
Momoa.
Right. But see, Momoa, I think, is the stronger actor because I saw him in Dune and I really liked him in the Dune movies. I like him in Game of Thrones. He's done several samey roles after that. But for me, Dave Bautista has got less range.
I'd agree. Yeah.
No, I've only seen totally Bautista in these very straightforward action roles, and he didn't do much different in this movie except that I thought they had good comedy chemistry between the two of them. That's what kept me watching. And the litmus test for me is I'm working on a script on the computer. I've got this on in the background. If I have to stop working on the script, that means the movie's starting to get my attention, and then I put the work on pause and then I stop watching the movie properly.
So you do the second monitor, first monitor strategy?
Yeah, no, I've got the TVs on my left right now.
When did you swap it over? Because, you know, like I said, I stopped at 37 minutes. I felt like the movie was pretty weak up to that point.
It was on in the background, actually, I admit, until probably just a bit further past that.
Okay, yeah, that's.
I would sort of watch little bits of it, and I thought, well, you know, the action scene in the beginning is actually quite a fun fight sequence. It's very silly, but it's kind of fun. Just seeing kind of, you know, the different things people were grabbing and where the hits landed. But I find with
the first fight was like very tonally kind of all over the place because like the movie did it like there's like one part where he puts like a guy's teeth against the table and like that was almost. And it's like, whoa, you know, it's like up to the point.
Tone is a little inconsistent. It doesn't quite
it was like hyper violence almost. I was like, damn, man. Yeah. And then he like they didn't show it obviously, but he like grated a guy's neck against like broken glass or something.
But there's also the bit where he grabs the cheesecake grater.
Oh yeah.
Grates it. Now that was quite inventive. I mean, that made me stop and start watching it. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, ooh, that I could feel the pain.
I don't know if you saw Weapons last year, but there's this. Okay, yeah, they used a cheese grater in that movie too, or like a potato peeler, something similar. So I was like more shocked that like a movie that seemed as lighthearted as this was employing like that level of violence, but you know, I couldn't help but like kind of knock points off them because I'm like, it feels like you kind of took inspiration from Weapons, employing that to like a very effective degree, in my opinion.
I mean, the thing is, I like really grounded action, but this film kind of set itself up to be a little bit silly.
It was schlocky, yeah,
at the beginning. But at the end of the day, I was like, when I got to the end of it, because I watched the last sort of hour properly, and I was like, okay, do you know what? This was all right. It was a forgettable action buddy film, but I actually quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed when I started watching it, and the supporting cast were very good as well. So there was a lot in it for me to enjoy as a director. I like some of the acting. I like some of the stuff, the way stuff was shot. Some of the use of locations in Hawaii was really nice. It was nice that we were in
the scenery was beautiful.
We don't see Hawaii in films.
No, not very often.
And I don't know if you remember the director Albert Poon, who did a lot of B movies in the 80s. He was a really good friend of mine and a mentor. You would have seen some of his films. He directed Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme. He did The Sword and the Sorcerer, which was a kind of like low budget Conan-esque kind of sword and sorcery film in 1982. It came out right the same year as Conan, but for a lot less money, and it did pretty well. If you've never seen The Sword and the Sorcerer, man, you've got to see that movie.
I might have, but it might have been like when I was very young, so it's probably something.
What sort of age demographic are you?
I'm 37.
Okay, yeah. So you're like 13 years younger than me, so that's fair enough. You would have been growing up more in the kind of the DVD era, whereas I was in the you know,
we had VHS. I grew up with the Star Wars and the Indiana Jones like trilogy like VHS sets. Those were pretty like
yeah.
Although I will say that I gravitated a lot more towards Indiana Jones than I did Star Wars. I probably watched the Temple of Doom like 100 times when I was little.
Well, I mean, the reason I mentioned Albert is because Albert was a native Hawaiian, and towards the end of his career, he was shooting little bits and pieces on Hawaii. He sadly passed away of brain cancer a few years ago, but he would watch my feature films and like give me feedback, which for a director to do that, and he did about 200 movies, something like that, and he shot a lot of stuff for Canon Films, and he would turn up on set, and being told he got a budget of $3 million, he'd turn up on day one of filming and find his budget had been cut to $500,000. That's the sort of thing that happens on like a regular basis. This is a poster for Sword and the Sorcerer. So if you ever get a chance to watch this film, these are various foreign.
Yeah, I feel like there's a chance that like my dad could have showed it to me when I was like really young, but that the chances that I've seen it since then are like zero.
Yeah, the main hero's got like a 3-pronged sword in it, and David Lynch, not David Lynch. His surname's Lynch. This guy on the left, he's the main villain in it, and he's also the main villain in Chuck Norris's Invasion USA. He plays Rostov. Richard Lynch, and he was like the B movie go-to bad guy between sort of 1980 and like 1996. So it's a fun film, man. If you like a good B movie where you can see the filmmaker actually did an awful lot with not too big a budget. Yeah, and it's got some pretty gruesome scenes. So that's a good.
Some
picture
of those are pretty good.
It's got a good script. It's good fun. Yeah, like I say, it's a Conan B movie. But so you didn't see the whole film, because I always say to people, okay,
no, and I'm happy to go through kind of like my thoughts for like what I did watch.
Yeah,
and I will say that like kind of what disappointed me like right off the rip is. Yeah. I feel like Amazon, well, let's not bring Amazon into it just yet, but like, I love the idea that you get Jason Momoa and David Batista, right? Like we just explained that like, they don't have like the most incredible acting chops, but they're charismatic. They've got this cool masculine persona, right? And so putting them together in a movie seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it worked. I thought it worked putting them together. And it could have been a disaster. If they hated each other, it would have shown on screen. And I think.
Well, see, that's for me is like the only part of the movie that I watched. They do hate each other. Like the whole first half of the movie is like.
Oh, the characters do.
Yeah, they're like very antagonistic towards each other. And I have this like I have this huge aversion and dislike for Hollywood, like doesn't, for whatever reason, they don't want to do like a movie with two male actors that complement each other. They don't want to make like allies. They always want to go down the route of antagonism. And I'm so bored and tired of it. Like you've got these two charismatic, awesome actors. Like why not make them play off each other from the bounce? Like why do you gotta?
Actually, they put their differences aside about 45 minutes in and team up for the rest of the movie. So you kind of checked out just before that happened, which is kind of funny. But I
guess, but like, why waste 45 minutes when you've got them? Like, why not utilize the whole runtime that you have, making them like awesome guys that like, you know, that's what like gets word of mouth spreading around. It's like, oh, you got to see this movie because like, oh, Dave, but you know, it's like, if you've ever seen that Will Ferrell movie, The Other Guys, right? It's like the very beginning of the movie, like Samuel Jackson
did with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. And like Samuel Jackson and The Rock are like, you know, that's like what I want to see. I want to see that movie where like they're just two badasses like from the very beginning of the movie, and we're just following them and just seeing them like solve crimes and take guys down and like play off of, you know, kind of like Bad Boys, where like, you know, Bad Boys, like they have their squabbles and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, like they're like their power combined is like, you know, greater than like their little like squabbles and stuff like that. And I just felt like, why?
That's kind of what happens in the first time they have to. You didn't see the sort of second or no first card.
Yeah. So, well, it just didn't hook me, right? I was just like, this is just gonna. I'm like, it's gonna take like more than half of the movie for them to get on the same page, and even then, they're probably still gonna be pretty like, you know, disagreeable with each other. And I'm just like, I just don't want to waste my time like waiting for it to happen. And then it'll probably end up being like, it probably won't make up for the half of the movie that I watched where they're not that, you know, that's how I felt. So I just bounced out.
Tell me what are a couple of your favorite movies, just out of interest?
I guess it kind of depends on like, you know, like the genre and stuff like that. But I would say like
give me a couple of your favorite action.
Yeah. So like of the past like decade or so, I would say
anytime you like, whenever from the dawn of time. I don't mind.
Well, I used to have a strict top 10, but I don't remember all of it now. But like, I like the recent Mad Max movie. I think is incredible for action, and also I think it has like very good like character in it, and is one of the best examples in recent time of like a lot of visual storytelling. You know, they don't tell you about like the war boys' religion or anything like that. You just kind of see it in the moment, like when they're spray painting their teeth and then like jumping into the cars. It's a lot of show don't tell. You know, I really like when like Immortan Joe is like running through the Citadel when he realizes his wives are gone, and you're just seeing all the like agriculture that he's got going on. He's got like a hydroponic system, and the movie doesn't dwell on it, right? But it just kind of like lets you know through visuals that he's got like the world on lock basically. And I like that.
I like that movie. It's a good movie. There's a really good black and white version of that, you know, that they did a limited steel book release of or something.
Oh, interesting. I would say it's one of the better like looking movies as far as like color grading and stuff like that recent memory though, because
the black and white version of it looks fucking amazing. It's apparently when he filmed it, because George Miller sort of knew that he actually originally wanted to film it in black and white, and they were like, fuck off, no way. So he said to the DOP, light it so that, like, you know, let's look at it. And they had a monitor so they could see what it looked like in black and white when they were lighting it. And they tried to sort of do a bit of a blend that worked well for both. That's why, you know, the colors like really pop on it.
Yeah, they really pop. Yeah, I like that. Because like everything nowadays is like very murky. Even this movie is like a little bit murky. Like this shot that you're on right now, it's like, you know, there could be some more color to this scene. Like even this is like they're on the beach in Hawaii, you know, make it look romantic, you know, make the sky like orange with the sun. And if the ocean look blue.
If the sky happened to be like that on the day that you had that scheduled for filming, which of course us directors, we don't always get that, you know.
That's true.
I can tell you now, I shot on an island in Greece, and we had this incredible sunset one day. It was absolutely amazing. It was one of the best I've ever seen. And my DOP had a massive argument with his wife, and me and Alex, the social media producer, we went out to shoot this thing, but without the main camera, and just do some stills for the poster. So we took like a Canon D5, and this sun started setting right behind this kind of distant other island that was nearby, and it did this. We had all these beams coming through, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like it." I was like, "Fucking phone the hotel, get the DOP over here," but it was too late. So we missed it. We've got some great stills of it, but we don't have it in the movie, you know, because we didn't get it. We went back to film it the next day. Wasn't the same.
Just was not the same conditions. Yeah.
No, just so you don't, you know, that's one of the things that happens. I like Monica. How do you spell it? How do you say?
Oh, was that his girlfriend?
Sharon. Yeah, she plays one of the girlfriend.
I wasn't sure if she was going to be in the rest of the movie. You know, she kind of leaves like pretty abruptly.
She comes back. She's in it at the beginning, and then she pops up again, and she comes back, and you know, I mean, they've got some pretty top class people working on this.
That was another scene that kind of like turned me off. I felt like that was a very like Amazon level, you know, kind of scene where it's like, oh, they have to like say everything like she's like, I'm a banker and you're a cop and like da da da, you know, and she's just kind of like got this laundry, and I'm like, oh my god, the dialogue is so uncreative, and that scene is just very like, I just like, I get like what they're trying to do. They're kind of framing him as like a schlub and like kind of like a loser and stuff. But I'm also, you know, it's also one of those things where it's like, dude, I'm kind of tired of that, you know, like
it could have been done a bit more subtly, and there's a dozen better different ways you could have done that for sure.
Yeah, and just I don't know. It's just a kind of a like a character trope that I'm getting like really tired of. It's just kind of like the guy's just like a loser, and like he needs his girlfriend to like leave him to kind of inspire any kind of. I mean, he gets like jumped by the Yakuza after that, so that's really what kind of like gets him into the movie. But I mean, like just having like it's like the girlfriend at that point is like kind of irrelevant, right? I guess if they're gonna bring her back, they needed to introduce her at some point. But like, you know, for me, it's like, well, if you're gonna make the main thing that gets him to come back to the island is his brother's wife calling him and him getting it, you know, involved with the Yakuza, then you don't even need this scene. And it really only, you know, serves to kind of like belittle Jason Momoa. Like he doesn't know her background. He doesn't know like what language she speaks. He doesn't even know what day it is. He's like a total drunk. And I'm just like, I'm so tired of these like unenviable male characters that, you know, we want to root for, but you make them like, you start them at -1, you know, you don't even start them at 0. It feels like. And so it's like, God, we have to spend so much time in the movie, like rehabilitating them. And I'm just, you know, so these were just like, someone asked me in chat earlier before I jumped on the call, like, what was my problem with the movie? And I just felt like it was so grating. Like everything about it was just, you know, it's just like seen this before, but better. Like I've just seen this a million times. I'm just really not getting, this just really isn't like appealing to me. Like, and again, like the whole thing about the movie that's supposed to be appealing is like Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa as a team up. And the first time that you even see them on the beach at the funeral, they're being so catty towards each other. And then they can't have like dinner with their family. They're just bitching at each other. And then they like, you know, they go out on the beach, but they leave in total disagreement. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, what am I here for? Like, I'm not even getting the thing that like was advertised. I'm going to have to wade through so much mediocrity to get to the good thing. It's like, you know, so that's why it's just like,
I guess for me, bearing in mind I'm on a different time zone for you, because it's coming up to 1 a.m. now. It was and that's all right, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm usually up to like 2, so
it's 5 p.m. for me. I'm on the West Coast.
Don't sweat it. So I was sort of, you know, end of day. It's not a film that I'm gonna, I've got to get the Blu-ray. I'm gonna, you know, got to have this in my collection. It's not one of those, but it was for kind of a winding down part of the evening. I thought, actually, this is all right. It's not terrible, not a terrible movie. For a kind of, you know, if people put this on as a rental, of course people don't now, but you know, people very rarely go around in groups now to people's houses to watch a movie and get a pizza like they used to do in the old days. But if a group of people did that and put this on as something to veg without it being too demanding, they would probably be entertained. Is it a great film?
I could see that.
Is it a great film? No. I mean, I think it's for me it's above average because it's got several things about it that are really good, that compensate for some of the weaknesses, you know, in terms of the way it's shot. The action gets better as the film goes on. It is slightly unrealistic. That I always have a problem with. But I think I quite enjoyed BATISTA and MAMOA together, and also once they sort of teamed up in the gunfights and stuff, that was kind of fun. My biggest problem actually with the film, and I don't know if you saw any scenes with him, was actually the villain. The villain
I saw the first scene where he like interrogates Jason Momoa at the club.
Right. And that's as subtle as they get with him. In all of the other scenes, he is such a pantomime villain. The only thing that's missing from him is the Dane makeup. And he's actually a Danish actor, and I'm half Danish on my father's side. And I have actually seen him in several.
I assumed he was
movies.
Hawaiian because they were trying.
No, he's outside. Yeah, he's not. He's a Danish actor. I've seen him in some other films. He's actually really good in some other stuff. He's just not very good in this. And I think he probably sort of, bearing in mind there are people that worked on The Raid, that worked on this. The Raid is a very over-the-top action movie.
Oh, yeah. The Raid's like one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same DOP. It's the same director of photography. That's why the fights have got a very similar style to them. And
yeah, I will say I will say I kind of noticed that in the fight at the beginning of the house. Like I kind of liked when they went. He was like still in the bathroom with them, but then it went up kind of into the ceiling, and it was kind of showing like the hallway, and kind of like an aerial view of the fight.
Hyper stylized. It's very over the top. Hyper stylized.
Yeah, I didn't think the action was like amazing, but I did like the camera work.
Yeah, the DOP did a good job. I sort of. As long as you kind of accept that it's on that level, that's fine. But I still want the actors to play the stuff. I want them to play the serious moments a bit more grounded. And this guy, he was doing everything short of twirling his mustache. Do you know what I mean?
True, and he did have a twirly mustache.
He did have a twirly mustache. You're absolutely right.
I will say, like. I didn't find the performance like noteworthy in any way, but I did like that he raked Jason Momoa on the neck and like gave him a mark. I thought that was like a pretty like menacing thing to kind of convey the stakes of messing with this guy. But then I did think that was kind of undermined by the fact that he gave him like 7 days to leave. Because it's like you mark this guy on the neck with your knife or your claw or whatever it was, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty menacing. And then he's like, yeah, but take your time like getting out of here. And it's like, well, dude, he's obviously gonna spend the next 7 days like investigating you and stuff like that. So I thought there was a little bit of a clash in tone there where I was like into it, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. There was a huge Hawaiian actor as well who'd only done one other role. It's kind of like a wrestler guy, plays sort of one of the heavies in one of the scenes. This was only his second movie, and he died right before it came out, only age 45. So that kind of sucks that you finally get to be in a cool film, and cool. I'm sure this will go down really well in Hawaii. I think for undemanding action fans. See, that is not an intimidating villain to me. That is a guy in pants. That's one of the scenes when the villain comes back. So I just thought he was a bit of a naff villain. But if you're an undemanding action fan who likes a buddy movie, you can't go too far wrong with this film. If you're more if you want your action of a slightly higher quality, you want your plot to be a bit more cerebral, a bit more grounded, the film's probably not for you. But I have watched several very mediocre, either straight to Amazon or Netflix originals, sort of action thriller things. And I've got 20, 30 minutes in, and a lot of them feel the same. They're all just like, it's just like I'm watching, especially the kind of the action thriller, slightly Jason Bourne-esque stuff. There's a lot of that going around, and I'm sort of 30
Did you watch
minutes
The Rip?
in. Yes, I did. I loved the first act. I thought the first act was really good. It was like a tense play, and I really actually wished they just shot the whole thing in the house. As soon as they started leaving the house, that's what killed it for me.
I definitely say that the middle act is definitely like what holds the movie back.
Yeah. And then you've got an unnecessary car chase at the end that we just didn't need. And
it felt very tacked on. It felt like the movie really concluded like inside the back of the truck. And then when they got stopped by the FBI, I'm like, oh, well, it's over. And then there was like another like 10 minutes tacked on.
There's an interesting interview with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck about
on Joe Rogan,
and when they took it. Yeah, the Joe Rogan one. That's right.
And I watched that episode with them.
If you read, especially if you've worked in the industry and you've been behind the camera like I have, and you listen to some of the things they say, you can tell the changes that were put on them. I suspect that the original script for that movie, I bet 90% of it was all in the house. I bet they hardly left the house. I bet the car chase wasn't in it. And I guarantee you that there were people at Amazon that said, no, you can't set it all in the house. And that's actually setting it all in the house is what would have made it interesting, because you had a very strong cast there and you put a really good cast in a tight space, and you know, with a good script and a lot of drama around who's doing what here, you don't really know who's the villain. That can really work, and I think that would have been fine. I really liked the first sort of 40 minutes of it. I thought was really strong, and then it just kind of unraveled a bit for me.
I agree.
A lot of other stuff. It was better than a lot of other stuff I've seen.
You were asking before. It's like I do have a YouTube channel, and I make content for it very sporadically, but I mostly do content for TikTok now.
Right.
And so in regards to this movie, what is this movie called again? The Wrecking Crew. Like I watch, like when I sit down to watch a movie, I try and watch it like very intently, because like I want to, you know, I can potentially make a video about it depending on like how much I like it or don't like it. So that's kind of why I like bounced off of it really hard, because I was paying attention. Like I was giving it my full attention, like right from the beginning, and I just didn't.
That's your channel. That's your channel, no? Look on the screen now.
Just DC Green, the top one.
Yeah, I subscribed to it earlier. So
thank you. I don't really put too much stuff out on it now.
I'm your 51. I'm your subscriber 51. That's me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, listen, we have a regular chat show called the Nielsen Ratings, which is normally 10 p.m. my time. So that's it starts actually an hour earlier now. It starts at 9 p.m. every Tuesday. That might not gel well with your work hours. But if you are ever available when I'm doing that, that's a weekly show. But what we do on it though is each guest that comes on picks something new that they've watched that they want to recommend. So we're all there to recommend things, as opposed to talk about how crap Starfleet Academy is. We will occasionally have a warning of the week where we thought something was going to be good, but actually it weren't so great. But you know, not everybody, it's not an echo chamber. Not everybody agrees. Some people like things and some people don't. This is like you and I are sort of politely disagreeing on some things about this film, but we can still have a conversation about it without us being rude to each other or without it devolving into a massive argument. I'm trying to show people that can actually happen. We don't all have to like the same stuff. It's perfect, you know. And like I said, I come from a slightly different place from you. I'm looking at slightly different things in the movie because I've been on the other side. You're not really necessarily looking at through that lens.
Well, as I mentioned, I kind of come from the EFAP sphere of things. So those are kind of the guys that have inspired me, like Mahler specifically. So I do try and adhere to that. Like, you know, at no point are we ever trying to tell people like, don't like something if you like it. You know, there are plenty of things that aren't like high art that I love. You know, and I would never want someone to try and like take that from me. So I usually just try and go into it like, you know, just talk about what you thought worked or didn't work, or, you know, like it's like we've viewed the movie under completely different conditions and stuff. So it's, you know, I take the context in which you viewed it into the things that you're saying about it as well.
Sure. Do you want to give your TikTok a plug? I don't know if you can type it.
Sure. Yeah. It's
want to type the link in private chat for me? I'll put it up on screen for you.
It's the same thing. It's just at DC Green Hates Movies.
Oh, okay. Why is that your name? I mean, because that's a bit sort of like your assumption is like gonna hate everything.
So when I went on TikTok, DC Green was taken, which is usually not the case. I've had a lot of luck in my life, like having this screen name like usually available. And if you see on my channel, the last thing that I made was I made a 2-hour review on Predator Badlands because I hated it.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't getting a lot of views and stuff like that. And I felt like there was a lot of great stuff in it. So I was trying to think of a strategy I could use to kind of like funnel people into it. So I thought that like if I started clipping parts out of it and putting them on TikTok, that would kind of work. And I started building like a little. And so anyway, so I just thought it was like ironic to make my name DC Green Hates Movies, even though like, it's like I don't hate movies, obviously, like they're a hugely influential part of my life.
Sure.
But I was just like leaning into like the irony and the hedginess, I guess, of it and stuff. And I don't know if it like turns people off to me or whatever. It doesn't seem to, but I have no idea whether or not it's I'm already doing like content creation on hard mode as well. Like on my TikToks, I use the same little like picture with the mouth that moves and stuff. Like I don't show my face or anything like that.
You don't have to show your face to come on my channel. So,
well, yeah, I'm not right now. Right. So,
no. I mean, I when it's late, I don't, because people.
Oh, well, this is how I normally present myself when I'm doing like content creation and stuff as well. As like I use this little critter that has the like South Park style animation to it.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's kind of cool.
So I feel like if anything's holding me back, it's that like level of presentation rather than like my actual handle, because TikTok is all about like I've noticed that like a lot of the reviewers that like use their own face and persona and stuff, they seem to get like a much better following.
Well, my unintended but always welcome guest has been DC Green Hates Movies tonight. Do check out his content on TikTok predominantly. He does have a small YouTube channel, 51 subs right now. But as you say, your stuff is mostly on TikTok. So if you'd like to go and support his stuff on TikTok, that'd be great.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I actually also am the person who directed Mauler's feature film. That was me. So,
awesome.
Sorry, not feature film, short film. All in Good Time. I've got the poster for it.
Now, besides the theater premiere that you guys are doing for that, is there going to be a way to see it on the internet and stuff? Because I'm sure all of us that are
no. What we're doing is we're submitting it to a small number of festivals, and for that reason we can't put it on YouTube publicly yet, because if we do, then we would be invalidated from going into any of those festivals.
Okay, so, but eventually, or
we're gonna, as soon as we've submitted to those festivals, and as soon as we've had a response from them, if we get into any of them, then the film will come on YouTube as soon as those festivals are done. If we're only entering about 5, and they're all quite top end, so we could enter literally hundreds, but we're only entering about 5. They're all quite top end, which means the competition to get into those festivals is extremely high. So the chances of us getting in, and the film is very good. I'm very confident with it. It's a very good watch. It went down extremely well at the, investors premiere that we had. Everybody was very happy with it. And the actors are first class in it. But I still think our chances of getting into the festivals are very small. I mean, I've done film festivals before, and I know for a fact that a lot of them are quite prone to corruption. So that doesn't mean to say that. No, there's not. I mean, you know what goes on with things like the Oscars and Emmys.
Sure,
and stuff. So, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised. And I'm not saying that they're all like that. There are some festivals that are absolutely superb out there and pride themselves on their integrity, but I can't speak for all of them. And, we will just have to see how that goes. If we get into any, my expectations are that we probably won't, but we've got to try. And once the trying is done, and as soon as we're able to, it's going to go up on my channel and on Mauler's channel at the same time on the same day. And Mauler might let me put it up a day or 2 ahead, perhaps, just to get some extra views.
I'm sure I speak for his audience when I say that we're all looking forward to it, because he articulates himself so well about storytelling and the craft and writing. So we're all really excited to see like something that he's really penned to paper.
Every line in the script you know, it's a 20-minute film. It's two people talking predominantly, and there's thought behind almost every line in it. There's a lot of stuff going on, and he wanted people to discuss, oh, what does this line mean? What does that line mean? And you know, we'll probably do some kind of live Q&A. Maybe we'll
sounds cool. Sounds like a lot of subtext.
Yeah, there's a lot of subtext, and maybe we'll do some sort of live Q&A on his channel with me there or something. So, you know, if whenever there was like Jason Flemyng, who's he co-owns the copyright to nearly all my work, so we've worked together about 5 times, and he always likes less dialogue, so he was very keen to cut down his dialogue, and he suggested a load of cuts, and Mauler came back and said, no, this line references this line references this. So I think we only ended up cutting something like about 2 lines from the script in the end. And you know, that was fine. And I really liked the script, so I didn't really want it to be tampered with. I was quite happy to, as a guest director, to direct it exactly as is. And I did my best to direct pretty much what was on the page and deliver it as is. Yeah, so it's gonna drop on both channels at the same time. And there's my cousin Anna popping in. So copies of DVDs, well, it's only 20 minutes, Moonrunner City, so I mean, we could bring out a Blu-ray with the making of is already on my channel. You can see the making of the movie. It's on my channel already. I don't know if you've seen that, DC Green.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, there's a BTS, there's a behind the scenes, quite long. It's quite a long behind the scenes video on the channel, just called I think it's just called The Making of All in Good Time, something. I haven't got that many videos. Most of my stuff is live because I don't I see it. I don't have time to do loads of edits, but All in Good Time behind the scenes.
Yeah, I see it. I'll check it out. It's
16 minutes, so it's actually only just a bit shorter than the actual movie. And we shot it over 2.5 days, and it was one of the few times that I've done a shoot where I had almost no problems. Very, very lucky. You know, perfect weather, no problems with. We had a few problems in prep. The original location that we found was great, and then the guy tried to fuck us about, and he tried to double the fee, and we just went to a different farm up the road. But that meant that we had to also change all of our catering. You know, because the catering was location. We'd done a deal with the pub over the road from the location, so we were going to eat in that pub, and we had to say to the pub, "I'm sorry, but the location we're moving it now, so we can't eat here. You can blame the farmer." So, but that was a real shame, you know, because I really liked it. But it all worked out for the best. I think the other location gave us some other things that actually enabled us to do some shots that we couldn't have done at the first location. So it all worked out for the best. Right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there. Just
do you mind if I ask when you said that other show was what days and what time? Maybe I'll try and make an appearance.
The Nielsen ratings is 9 p.m. UK time every Tuesday, and new guests. I don't bring people on the spur at the moment, like kind of from the chat on that. I do another show called Late Night with Lance, which I do sometimes do after open bar. Sometimes it's called After Open Bar, and I'll bring people on like I brought you on today because I like bringing on other people. I just think it's an interesting way to talk about things. But on the Nielsen ratings, you have to have an invite to come on, so you've got one now.
Okay, cool.
So, but I tried to.
I did see something this week that I actually liked a lot more than I expected. Do you mind if I just talk about it for like 60 seconds?
Yeah, go for it.
In spirit of the show. Cool. So I saw that new movie called Send Help, directed by Sam Raimi and starring.
Yeah. I've heard good things about that. Somebody else told me.
Yeah, you know, I went into it with like bottom of the barrel expectations because like I thought that the trailer was just like I just didn't believe that the movie was going to be what the trailer pretended. I thought that they made the trailer look really dark, and I'm like, dude, there's no way that they do a movie with a female lead that like is this dark and is going to be like maybe villainous. But I'm happy to say that the movie really, it really delivered what was promised, and I felt like it didn't pull any punches. So I don't think it's like high art or anything like that, but I had a lot of fun with it. And Sam Raimi is definitely doing like all the Sam Raimi things. So if you've missed all his like gratuitous bodily fluids and spewing of gross things, like, then I recommend checking it out, because he's really back in form in this one.
I mean, not every movie needs to be high art. It just, as a minimum for me, I need to find it entertaining.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
I like to connect with a character somewhere. I want to either feel sympathy for them or empathy for them or relate to them. They don't have to remind me of my childhood or anything, but you know, you want to be rooting. You want to generally in a movie, you want to be rooting for somebody, don't you, to succeed? You know.
Yeah, I would say she very much, you know, is positioned as kind of like the victim of the movie, and then you kind of see her gain her footing and kind of come into her own. So I thought that the transition. Don't
tell me too much.
I think it's a fun watch. Like I said, I didn't really have high expectations, so sometimes having low expectations is what kind of puts me over the edge for recommending it. But I had a lot more fun than I was expecting, and it's short. You know, it's like an hour and 40 minutes or so. You're in and out pretty quick.
No worries. So. All right. Well, listen, man, it's been great fun having you on. And if you ever see me streaming late and it's just me talking about a film, or it might be a late night with Lance thing, pop in the chat. If you're free, just let me know and I'll bring you on, because I've got a few people.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity. It's been fun to chat.
I love talking about movies, so it's all
same.
Good. So I'm going to be back tomorrow night. I've got an industry interview tomorrow with Gav Adam, who is a music promoter from London, who runs Fearsome, which is a hard house clubbing event, and he's also produced a few music hits. So that's another one of my industry interviews. I've got 3 more of them over the next 10 days, and we do a lot of those on the channel. So but
okay, well, I just subbed to you, so hopefully I'll see your
thanks, man. I appreciate that. Spread the word and let the EFAT gang know you had a chat with me. And
we'll do one day if they pay attention to my messages.
I've got Mulder's phone number, so next time I speak to him on the phone, I'll tell him, hey, I had one of your fans come on my channel the other day.
Oh yeah,
we had a little chat about you.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I've actually watched most of his Star Wars video, and that is one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. And it doesn't matter that I know nothing about that game; it is so entertaining. So,
I really like his sense of humor and just like the way that he like articulates things and the way he paces out his videos and stuff. He's very talented at the YouTube.
I'm working on a similar one for Masters of the Air, which was like the biggest disappointment ever. So you never know, you might be seeing something a bit. I haven't quite got his voice, but maybe I'll get him to read the script for me. We'll see. Anyway, listen, thanks to everybody in the chat for popping in as well. It's nice to see a few of the regulars here. Thanks, Adam Gray. I know you've got B. I think you're doing B sides now. So, I'll see everybody again tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Bye.